As travel around the world rebounds, get ready to pay more when you fly out of Changi Airport from November 1st. A man who stabbed a stranger to death while jogging along PUNGGOL Field Road was sentenced to life imprisonment and 15 strokes of the cane. And the World Health Organization says the end of the COVID-19 pandemic is in sight, but warns against complacency. Hello, you're watching The Big Story with me, Chao Suen. Subscribe to the Straits Times channel to stay up to date with our live news updates. As you start planning for your year-end holidays, be prepared to fork out a bit more money, as charges for passengers flying out of Changi Airport will go up from November 1st. The Civil Aviation Authority of Singapore and Changi Airport Group today announced that the total departure fee will increase by $6.90 to $59.20. The fee will subsequently go up to $62.20 from April 2023 and $65.20 from April 2024. Changi Airport is not alone in increasing its fees. There have been reports of other airports also planning fee hikes. The fees and levies charged will go towards CAG's operations and current infrastructure upgrading of terminals and future development plans. Air tickets issued before November 1st will not be subjected to the higher fees and levies. There will be no change to the departure fee for transit passengers, who will continue to pay $9 in airport charges for each flight. Now, higher fees or not, still good news to those looking to travel to Japan from next month. Japanese media outlet Nikkei reported today that the country is expected to scrap the visa requirements for short-term travelers from certain countries and will also remove the daily entry cap of 50,000 people in October. The Straits Times understands that Singapore will be one of the countries where visas are not required. Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida is expected to announce the changes in the coming days. With the yen dropping to near a 24-year low against the US dollar, Nikkei says that the Japanese government could benefit from capitalizing on the increased buying power of tourists by easing travel requirements. These changes come as Japan last week raised the daily ceiling of inbound travelers to 50,000 from 20,000 and also eliminated a requirement for pre-departure COVID-19 tests. Turning our attention back to local news. The biggest story coming out of the courts today, a combination of factors that eventually led to what prosecutors said was a senseless killing of a man. The attacker, then 20 years old, who stabbed a stranger to death while they were both jogging, was sentenced to life imprisonment and 15 strokes of the cane today. Suraj Shrikant Diwakar Mani Tripathi admitted he stabbed and slashed Mr. W.H.O near a bus stop in PUNGGOL Field Road at 11:08 p.m. on May 10, 2020. Mr. W called 995 and said that he had been stabbed many times. He was initially alert when paramedics found him, but lost consciousness later. He died early the next morning. Here's what we know about how the attack unfolded. On the night of May 10, 2020, which was during the circuit breaker, Suraj Shrikant and Mr. W left their respective homes for their regular runs. At that time, Suraj Shrikant was angry over some personal matters. He took along a Singapore Armed Forces issued Swiss folding knife with a 9 cm long blade and a wet wipe. Mid-run, Suraj Shrikant fell near a bus stop in PUNGGOL Field Road and paced around for 5 to 10 minutes to work off his anger. At 11:08 p.m., Mr. W jogged past him. Overcome with anger, Suraj Shrikant unfolded the knife, chased after the victim and stabbed him forcefully in the back. Suraj Shrikant repeatedly slashed Mr. W's arm, chest and abdominal area when the latter was trying to sit up. Suraj Shrikant then kept the knife in his pocket and cleaned his hands with the wet wipe. He wandered around the neighborhood for the next 1.5 hours and threw the soiled wipe away before returning home at about 12:30 a.m. Suraj Shrikant was eventually traced through police surveillance camera recordings, which showed him wandering around the neighborhood with a knife in his hand. He was arrested at his home 6 days later, and the knife, which he washed with hand soap, was found in his bedroom cupboard. ST senior law correspondent Selina Lam, who covered the court proceedings this morning, joins us now to share more. Thanks for joining us today, Selina. So what did the court reveal about Suraj Srikan's circumstances that eventually led to the attack?
It was revealed in court that the date of the incident held particularly bad significance for him. It was the 10th of May, and the court heard that on this date in 1999, his father actually abandoned the family, particularly his mom, who was pregnant with Suraj Srikan at the time. And in 2018, that was the day he was enlisted into national service, and which was a short-lived stint because his anxiety issues caused him to be downgraded and discharged. So on the day of the incident, which was during the circuit breaker, he tripped and fell during his jog, and those significance about the dates exacerbated his anger, and that was found to be the primary driver for his actions.
So, Selina, as you mentioned, Suraj Srikan was found to suffer from some mental disorders. What kind of effect did this have on him? Could you share more on that?
So back when he was serving national service in 2018, he was diagnosed to have social phobia. And after the attack on Mr. Tay, he was diagnosed with severe social anxiety disorder, obsessive compulsive disorder, and dyscalculia, which is a learning disorder. And these disorders, or the combination of disorders, were found to have a crippling effects on his life. Because he dropped out of Northlight School after just one day, and in NS, he could not work with others in a confined space. So these exacerbated his feelings of anger when at the incident when he tripped and fell.
So, Suraj Srikan is 22 years old now. He's been sentenced to life imprisonment. What does this mean for him?
So he's been sentenced to life imprisonment, and he will also have to be caned 15 strokes. The prosecution actually sought 24 strokes the cane, arguing that he was unremorseful and that it was a very brutal killing, while his lawyer argued for no caning. But in terms of life imprisonment, the Court of Appeal has ruled that life imprisonment is a person's natural life. However, under the law, specifically under the Prisons Act, after a person has served 20 years of his life sentence, he will be reviewed. It's this is an administrative thing, and there will be a review to see whether his sentence can be remitted. But of course, there's no guarantee, and if Suraj Srikan is found not suitable to be released after 20 years, he will basically, be paying for his crime for the rest of his life.
Thank you, Selina. That was senior law correspondent Selina Lam. An outdoor activities facilitator has been charged in relation to the death of a 15-year-old student who fell from an high elements course at the Safra Adventure Sports Centre. Muhammad Nurul Hakim Muhammadin, who was charged with causing death by a rash act not amounting to homicide, is accused of failing to ensure that both leg straps of the victim's safety harness were properly fitted. The victim, Jethro Phua Sin Yang, was suspended in the loose harness after he fell off the rope course and his leg straps unbuckled. He was strangled as a result and died of multiple organ failure. Hakim faces up to 5 years jail and a fine. Creating jobs and strengthening the workforce. These are issues that the Financial Services Industry Transformation Map 2025 aims to address. Led by the Monetary Authority of Singapore, or MAS, the plan will also ensure the financial sector grows by an average annual rate of 4% to 5% from 2021 to 2025 and create 3,000 to 4,000 net jobs on average each year. Unveiled by Deputy Prime Minister Lawrence Wong today, the ITM 2025 reinforces the goals set in ITM 2020. The new initiatives in the refreshed plan include setting up a digital platform for small businesses, positioning the country as a regional hub for philanthropy, and turning stocks, bonds, and real estate into digital tokens. DPM Wong also announced that efforts to develop local talent for financial services will get a boost from a new $400 million grant. The top management of Singapore gaming and e-commerce giant Sea Limited will forgo their salaries and tighten company expense policies in a bid to shield itself from the economic slowdown. Chief Executive Forrest Lee said in an internal memo sent to staff today that the leadership team has decided that it will not take any cash compensation until the company reaches self-sufficiency. This comes just days after Sea shut down operations in some markets and trimmed staff across its divisions. The COVID-19 pandemic could soon be a thing of the past, but the World Health Organization is warning against letting your guard down just yet. Speaking at a virtual press conference, WHO Director General says that while the end of the pandemic is in sight, now is not the time to slow down efforts to prevent more variants and deaths. This comes as the weekly death figures from the virus around the world are at their lowest since March 2020.
Last week, the number of weekly reported deaths from COVID-19 was the lowest since March 2020. We have never been in a better position to end the pandemic. We're not there yet, but the end is in sight. We can see the finish line. We are in a winning position. But now is the worst time to stop running. Now is the time to run harder and make sure we cross the line and reap the rewards of all our hard work.
And Singapore's beloved Merlion turns 50 this year. My colleague Kimberly Zhao took to the streets to find out just how much we know about the national icon. Kim gave out some Merlion goodie bags to those who got the questions right. And here's a chance for you to win one too. In honor of the Merlion's 50th birthday, we are inviting you to reimagine the Merlion. What does it mean to you? How would it represent the Singapore of the present and the future? Put your creativity to the test by completing this graphic. Submit your entries along with your contact details from now to 11:59 p.m. on September 21st via the link in the description below. And those are our top stories for today. Visit straitstimes.com for more news and our YouTube channel for more videos. Subscribe by hitting the red button below. I'm Chao Suen and I'll see you tomorrow on The Big Story.